You're watching Camnet TV Main News. To present the news, my name is Banda Tandiwe. The headlines. Princess KASUNE calls for an end to HIV/AIDS discrimination. Fire all civil servants linked to 3,000 bags of missing fertilizer-PAC. Women aspiring for political positions should be equal to the tasks challenges gender minister. And in our international news, freed schoolboys arrive in Nigeria's KATSINA week after abduction. And in our sports news, Liverpool dismantled Crystal Palace by 7-0. Do join me with the details after this break.
Hello, have you heard about Msika? Do you know that you can advertise for as low as 150 kwacha for 30 seconds? Well, Msika is here. Advertise on Msika between 17 hours and 18 hours. Just tell us about the services that you offer and we'll gladly put you on the market. For more details, you can contact
+260 953 995099. +260 962 444 726 or +260 971 177 467.
Msika, allowing your business to grow.
Hello, Camnet TV viewers, wherever you are watching us from. Allow me to invite you to this Sunday service, the 20th of December, 2020. Dr. Francis Mouse from the USA with his wife Camilla will be taking their last Sunday service at the Healing Word Ministries International. You don't want to miss this service, where he will be presenting us with the gospel facts, how to win every case in the courts of heaven. On behalf of the Healing Word Ministries, the leadership of Camnet TV, and indeed on behalf of my wife, Pastor Victoria, allow me to invite every loving Zambian, every God-fearing Zambian, every one of you to this wonderful service. May the Lord bless this great nation of Zambia, and remember you were born for greatness. Shalom, shalom.
Welcome back. In our first news item, the Zambia Meteorological Department, ZMD, has asked farmers in the country to take caution when to plant and apply chemical fertilizers on their fields to prevent wastage. Information shared by Zambia National Farmers Union, ZNFU, Public Relations Officer Kelvin Kalei, obtained from the Meteorological Department, has indicated that the next 10 days will be characterized with heavy rains in most parts of the country. The situation may lead to germination failure and wastage of fertilizers through washing away due to increased moisture and possible waterlogging. The Meteorological Department has also stated that with the prevailing increased soil moisture levels in most parts of the country, increased incidences and fast growth of weeds expected in most fields. To this effect, farmers have been advised to ensure timely weeding of fields to prevent stunting and yellowing of crops. The Meteorological Department has also asked farmers in the country to quickly report any unusual high population of locusts in one area or indeed any strange insects on crops. And in other news stories, the People's Alliance for Change, PAC, has demanded that all civil servants linked to embezzlement of fertilizer under the Farmers Input Support Program be suspended. In a statement issued to Camnet TV by PAC Secretary General Gerard Mulao, notes with disappointment that over 3,000 bags of fertilizer under FISP in Luanshya district have disappeared. Mr. Mulao says the incident, which has been confirmed by Copperbelt Permanent Secretary Bright Nundwe recently, is a source of concern. He says the act, in which its nature is sabotage on the agricultural sector and the country's food security, adding that barely a month ago, another 900 bags of farming inputs were stolen in Mambwe district of Eastern Province, all under the government's custody, awaiting beneficiary farmers to redeem. Mr. Mulao has since urged the provincial administration on the Copperbelt and Eastern Provinces to suspend all those directly linked to the missing bags of farming inputs, while investigations are expedited to recover the embezzled public resource.
The news coming from Luanshya district about the embezzlement of 3,000 bags of fertilizers confirmed by Copperbelt Permanent Secretary Bright Nundwe makes very, very sad reading. And I think at this stage we demand that the authorities take decisive action against the culprits that are involved in the act. Otherwise, if they don't act in that direction, then we will be confirming that this crime is being done at high level and using those at the warehouses as stooges. Remember that within 30 days, another 900 bags was stolen in Mambwe district. Now, this is unprecedented. We cannot be having this level of theft, involving FISIP fertilizer, which is supposed to benefit poor farmers at this, rate. We can't tolerate that. And so we demand that the authorities immediately take decisive action against the people that are involved. And as PAC, we commit to the country that once they give us an opportunity to lead this country, we shall safeguard the interests of the farmers. We shall ensure that laws are put in place. Stringent action, stern action is taken against perpetrators of theft, of government fertilizer. So, in a nutshell, we will be on standby and waiting to see what action government is going to take against the people involved in the theft of 3,000 bags of fertilizer. That is about 4 truckloads, if I'm not mistaken. So they cannot, go missing. No one can load 4 truckloads without, the blessing of the authorities. So please, we need decisive action.
Democratic Party DP National Spokesperson Judith Kabamba says President Edgar Lungu should apologize to the nation and the former ministers for misleading them. Speaking at a media briefing on Saturday morning, Ms. Kabamba explains that the law is clear in regards to serving ministers after parliament is dissolved, but the president chose to ignore it. She says the head of state must not be trusted with interpreting law of the land, citing the 2016 misunderstanding to which the former minister are paying for. Meanwhile, DP, the party spokesperson, has urged the Electoral Commission of Zambia to respond to the calls being made by the Zambian people on the voter registration exercise, adding that the process should continue and not end as scheduled tomorrow, 20th December 2020. More details in this report.
The Democratic Party has charged that it is unfortunate to note how ministers were misled and continued staying in office illegally after the dissolution of Parliament in 2016. The party spokesperson disclosed that it, however, remains vital for all ministers that stayed illegally in office to obey the court of law by paying what they owe to the state.
Let me state that it is unfortunate that Zambia has a president, lawyer, who decided to misinterpret the law to suit his insatiable appetite to remain in office, at the end of the day misled the whole nation and created debt for his colleagues. Shame. Shame. The judgment by the Concourt is a direct indictment on the president. And if morality was a virtue present in every individual, then President Lungu would have resigned on moral grounds.
Meanwhile, the party spokesperson reiterates that Mr. Halikalawa, the leader of the Democratic Party, has demonstrated integrity and true leadership by adhering to the rules of law when he became the first former minister to pay.
President Kalawa was the first last week to pay back the money that former ministers were ordered to pay by the Constitutional Court. That is, like I said, in salaries and allowances they gained when they were misled. To offer solidarity to him, our dear president, for demonstrating integrity, true leadership, and adherence to the rule of law.
This was one other thing that the Democratic Party demanded.
President Lungu must apologize to the nation.
Yes.
And I repeat, President Lungu must apologize to the nation. He must apologize to the people of Zambia for saying Zambians are failing to understand and interpret the law because they do not read, and for misleading the country in that fashion.
Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News in Lusaka.
Meanwhile, the Democratic Party Finance Secretary Justin Konde has bemoaned government's failure to implement national policies that it launches. Commenting on a recently launched economic recovery plan policy by President Edgar Lungu, Mr. Konde disclosed that some of the ideas contained in economic recovery plan policy have been copied and pasted from other policies, which he says makes it hard for government to actualize its content. The economic recovery plan launched by the President on Thursday has been formulated to address various dimensions of the economic challenges that the country is currently facing, resulting from a number of factors including COVID-19 pandemic, which had negative and serious consequences on the growth prospects of our economy. The ERP is also aimed at bolstering economic growth while reducing poverty and inequality amongst the Zambian population, adding that the launch is a demonstration of government's firm commitment and stance to addressing various macroeconomic challenges in the country with a view of improving the welfare of the Zambians without leaving anyone behind.
Pronouncements concerning recovery, because we know today that the inflation rate is at 16%. We know today that the exchange rate is at 21.6%. We know today that our GDP is growing in a negative growth. It is at negative 4.1. This GDP, which in 2020 growing at negative 4.1, was projected at the beginning of 2019 to grow at 2.7. 2019 economic growth was at 1.4. Look at the reduction. This year's economic growth was projected again to be at 1.4. We are growing at negative 4.1. And in all that plan, recovery plan, they were just crying foul to say COVID-19. When did COVID-19 come? As far as I remember in Zambia, COVID-19 only started in March. So the economic recovery that has been pronounced is nothing but rhetoric. And 4 months, 5 months before we start our campaigns, what is President Lungu trying to achieve? What is it that he wants to achieve that he has never achieved in the past 6 years? That he has been at the realm of governance.
UPND President Hakainde Hichilema has urged Zambians across the country to remain strong amidst social, economic and political challenges currently being experienced. Speaking to party officials on the Copperbelt yesterday evening, Mr. Hichilema acknowledged being briefed about his police call-outs in Lusaka, urging party members to remain strong. The UPND President added that a team of lawyers was attending to the police call-out as he is out of Lusaka for national duties, among them attending the funeral of late Chief Fungulwe in Lufanyama district in the Copperbelt province. Meanwhile, United Party for National Development UPND National Youth Chairperson Likando Mufafalali has charged that the move by the police to summon UPND President Hakainde Hichilema is politically motivated and is meant to frustrate him ahead of the 2021 general elections. Let's get the details.
The Secretary General of UPND. No. Yes. We are going to march on force headquarters on Monday. Yes.
Geared for Monday, these youths from the United Party for National Development UPND have vowed to protect their leader during the time he will make his appearance at the police headquarters and the Anti-Corruption Commission on Monday. According to them, on that day, no one should stop them from holding a peaceful march to offer their solidarity to their leader.
If the Constitution provides that we march peacefully at that force headquarters, we are going to march on Monday. Yes. And we are not going to get any permission from anyone. Yes. No, baby. Is it clear? Yes. We are marching to police and no one can stop us. Yes. Yes. For the provinces that are in the four corners of this country, let it be very, very clear to you.
Yes.
Monday is a shutdown.
Yes.
If we have power,
yes.
If we have power in whichever province that where we come from, Monday is a shutdown.
Yes.
Shutdown. We are going to march peacefully to every corner of this country and ensure that Hakainde is not touched by anyone.
Yesterday, the 18th of December 2020, police in Lusaka summoned the opposition leader, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, to make his appearance before the police headquarters for questioning. In a statement issued by the police spokesperson, Esther Katongo, the opposition leader is expected to appear on Monday, the 21st of December 2020. However, the reasons for his summons are not yet known. Meanwhile, the UPND leader has urged all his party members to remain strong and calm.
If we are all strong, all of us, nothing will stand in our way. Nothing will stand in our way. So I am saying that call out, police call out, was designed to stop me from coming here. But I'm here. I told my lawyers, tell them that I've gone to Copper Belt. Death cannot wait. Funeral cannot wait. But the call out can wait. After all, it's a useless call out. It's a call out based on no crime. Just oppression.
Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News in Lusaka.
The Minister of Gender, Elizabeth Phiri, has charged women aspiring for leadership positions should be equal to the tasks as any other aspiring leader. Commenting on the two female aspiring candidates for the presidency, the Gender Minister says people should weigh their capabilities before deciding to give them a chance. The two aspiring female presidents are Forum for Democratic Change President Edith Nawakwi and New Heritage Party President Chishala Kateka. Ms. Phiri says inasmuch as government is creating an enabling environment for women to thrive in politics, this does require women that can perform and have what it takes for them to deliver on promises that they will make to the electorates. The minister says the women that should start by offering a service to the people before actively engaging in politics. Meanwhile, Ms. Phiri has also noted with concern the low number of women taking part in politics, adding that perception has greatly contributed to low numbers year in, year out. The gender minister was speaking to Camnet TV in Lusaka.
It's not just being a woman, it's what have you done. So it's works that will speak. It's what you have done, how you have related with the people, because we are not just going to vote for ordinary women. We want to vote for women with substance. So I'm encouraging women to come forth. I'm encouraging women to stand, but let them start working with the people before they pronounce their interest in becoming our leader. Because, you know, politics is not for the children. It's not for the faint-hearted. It's not just for those that want to become leaders. Politics is coming to work for the people. Which platform did you use to render a service to the people? Which platform are you using now that we can say, yes, she has succeeded on that platform? I think given a chance, she can do better.
National Guidance and Religious Affairs Minister Reverend Godfrida Smaili has challenged women in the church to rise and pray for peace and unity in the nation. Speaking to over 800 women from 50 churches in Mapalo community in Ndola today, Honorable Smaili said President Edgar Lungu and PF government place great value on the contributions of women in all aspects of life, especially their prayers for the nation. She says it was therefore of paramount importance that the women carry themselves with distinction, honesty and excellence, and to work very hard just like Ruth in the Bible. And speaking at the same function, Mapalo Network Chairperson Pastor Chikoseleshi thanked government profoundly for the great work it is conducting in the communities. Zanis reports from Ndola.
The role of women in society is important as they are the anchor for peace and unity.
And National Guidance and Religious Affairs Minister Godfrida Sumaili has called on women to ensure that they be role models for the younger generations. Reverend Sumaili said this during the Women Interdenomination Conference held at Chipulukusu Reformed Church in Zambia of Undola.
We need to preserve this peace. And it is you women in the church, on your knees as we come to our knees, pray for our nation. They shall be blessed. And let us pray for our children, the young people. Let us pray for these children. Not only praying for them, but also counseling them. It's a curse.
And Inkwazi Bread of Life Church pastor outlined some of the challenges women in the area are faced with.
One of the many challenges that we are facing is poverty in our homes, as most of us depend so much on small-scale businesses, but have since closed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. During this period, we have also experienced a lot of abuse against women.
Reverend Sumaili also gave out 500 by 25 kg bags of mealie meal to women who attended the conference. Clara Kawimbe reporting for Zanis in Indol.
We do take our second set of commercials. Still to come is more news items.
And why do you look so pale and busy scratching yourself?
Well, Amwandi, you know my skin is very sensitive. I've tried all the skin products and nothing seems to work.
Have you tried Oracle Pure Glycerin?
Oracle Pure Glycerin? What's that?
Just give me a minute.
Oracle Pure Glycerin gives your skin a youthful and healthy glow.
Ish, you're glowing. Don't tell me. Yes! I already know the secrets. Oracle Pure Glycerin!
Try Oracle Pure Glycerin for that perfect skin.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our Zesco units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962 642 490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Hello, Camnet TV viewers, wherever you are watching us from. Allow me to invite you to this Sunday service, the 20th of December, 2020. Dr. Francis Mouse from the USA with his wife Camilla will be taking their last Sunday service at the Healing Word Ministries International. You don't want to miss this service, where he will be presenting us with the gospel facts, how to win every case in the courts of heaven. On behalf of the Healing Word Ministries, the leadership of Camnet TV, and indeed on behalf of my wife, Pastor Victoria, allow me to invite every loving Zambian, every God-fearing Zambian, every one of you to this wonderful service. May the Lord bless this great nation of Zambia, and remember you were born for greatness. Shalom, shalom.
Hello. have you heard about Nsika? Do you know that you can advertise for as low as 150 kwacha for 30 seconds? Well, Nsika is here. Advertise on Nsika between 17 hours and 18 hours. Just tell us about the services that you offer and we'll gladly put you on the market. For more details, you can contact
+260 953 995099 +260 962 444 726 or +260 971 177 467.
Nsika, allowing your business to grow.
Welcome back. We do continue with our news stories. Kembe Member of Parliament, Princess KASUNE, has called for an end to discrimination of persons living with HIV and AIDS in the country. Ms. KASUNE, who is living with HIV and has been living with the virus, says that HIV and AIDS is not a disability and that youths and young ones who have tested positive to the virus should be respected and treated equally. Princess KASUNE was speaking on Saturday morning at the launch of the COVID-19 and HIV/AIDS project called Makwebo by Phenomenal Youth Association, a youth-led initiative to fight HIV and AIDS. Meanwhile, UNAIDS Country Director Tasise Barihuta says there is need to build young people living with HIV as opposed to discriminating them. More details in this report.
HIV and AIDS was in the past associated with a death penalty. But this notion has slowly been overtaken thanks to the effort that the world has been putting in. The Phenomenal Youth Association in Zambia, a youth-led initiative to fight HIV and AIDS, has launched a COVID-19 and HIV/AIDS project called Makwebo to help those living with the virus gain self-esteem. Kembe Member of Parliament Princess KASUNE was guest of honor at the event and has encouraged young ones living with HIV and AIDS to take up the mantle and become responsible citizens.
When I went to my HIV status doctor, I was 21 years old. Today, I'm saying I'm going to be 45 on the 6th of January. If me who was tested positive of HIV in 1997, when there was no treatment, when stigma was very high, I have managed to continue looking good, not like really young people, of course, but you can do it. As the Spanish person says, you can do it, and yes, you can. I went through my late husband telling me I will divorce you. I was excommunicated from church at that time because of the ignorance that was surrounding in the church. But today, when I look in our audience, we have sisters from the Catholic Church. We have the churches coming in the forefront because they realize they need to be part of the solution if we are going to win the fight against HIV and AIDS.
The Member of Parliament has also tasked those living with the virus to be considerate and ensure they do not transmit the virus.
It is sad, and I think that was the train of thought I had, that some of the people in the desperation of getting married, in the desperation of losing your boyfriend, some people end up not disclosing their HIV status. That is not acceptable. We have to think of the human heart, the human soul. That is someone's child, that's someone's brother. And you know what? The more you save other people's lives, the more your own life is extended.
And the UNAIDS Country Director says it is unacceptable for children below the age of 15 to be subjected to early marriages.
But there is a but. We have almost 1,200,000 people in Zambia living with HIV. We did well, 1 million there on treatment. But we have to find the 200,000 remaining so that they don't lose their life. And also they don't contaminate the others. This is one of the key priorities. We have to make sure that we find those people. When you look at the data, we are missing children.
It is hoped that Zambia will provide an enabling environment for persons living with HIV and AIDS to thrive. Prudence Chota for Camnet TV News.
6 business owners operating along Chachacha and Freedom Ways in the Central Business District, CBD, have been convicted by Lusaka Fast Track Court for failing to register with licensed solid waste service provider of the council. Lusaka City Council Public Relations Manager George Sichimba tells Camnet TV that the 6 were convicted during the course of this week following the successful persecution by LCC prosecutors under the Legal Services Department. He notes that failing to register with a licensed solid waste service provider of the council contravenes Section 2456 as read with Section 81A of the Solid Waste Regulation and Management Act No. 20 of 2018 of the the laws of Zambia. The 6 are among the many business owners who were found wanting during an inspection by LCC public health inspectors recently.
Confirm that the Lusaka Fast Track Court has convicted 6 business owners that are trading along Chachacha and Freedom Ways. The reason is that these people have been giving solid waste to unlicensed companies to go and dump and chunga landfill. But as you are aware, the law requires that you are supposed to subscribe to a licensed company. And so these people are not licensed, have no capacity. In most cases, people are using wheelbarrow pushers, you can imagine. And so wheelbarrow pushers have no capacity to transport the waste up to Chunga dump site. And so what they do is that they go around and find an open space and dump there. So they are dumping in the drainages, they are also dumping on the islands of the roads. If you go to CBE now, you find that people dumping there. This is one of the major reasons leading to that. And so as Lusaka City Council, we hope that people will learn from this and avoid doing illegal things. Everybody is supposed to subscribe to a licensed company and not these that are just passing by or people that are pushing wheelbarrows. And to make matters worse, some people are using street kids to go and dispose of the waste. So a street kid can't move all the way from CBD, for example, to Chunga landfill. So they just find where there's a bit of space and they dump there. So our appeal as Lusaka City Council is that residents of Lusaka should work with us in making sure that we keep the city clean in this rain season. Thank you.
Southern African Cross-Borders Traders Association Zambia Secretary General Jacob Makambwe says Zambia needs to adequately prepare itself to face the competition associated with the African Continental Free Trade. Mr. Makambwe says as Zambia revitalizes the manufacturing sector, there is need for more investment in the production sector of the country. In an interview with Camnet TV, Mr. Makambwe says in order to protect the industry, the country needs to become competitive and start considering what types of products to produce for export to the open market provided for by the ACFT. He notes that the issue of protecting industries depends on how much ready the country is to compete with goods and services that can sell both locally and market internationally. Mr. Makambwe has since advised government to work on reducing the cost of production if it has to encourage production in the country.
The only way that we can actually do is to speed up the implementation and allowing Zambians to invest in the areas of industrialization. Just like I mentioned, we have the implementation of the multi-facility economic zones. And the initial objective of the multi-facility economic zones was the transfer of skills and technology that would have actually come from outside for Zambia to become competitive to produce and manufacture goods and services in this country. So what we just need is to focus on the more productive sectors and put the resources where we are able to produce and add value, improve on the packaging, improve on the way we are actually doing our business as a country. We must also remove policies that hinder exports of certain goods that we produce in this particular country. If you are able to ban certain products that are produced in this country, then it means you are not going to compete outside the Zambian market. then why are we party to the tripartite free trade area? Why are we getting to the Africa Continental Free Trade Area?
The University of Zambia, UNZA, has received a grant financing of 4.6 million kwacha to help improve the emotional, economic and behavioral resilience of students to COVID-19 in African universities. UNZA lecturer in the Department of Psychology and project team leader Professor Anita Menon has told Camnet TV in a telephone interview that UNZA will be jointly working with experts from the University of Nottingham. Professor Menon says the funding will enable experts from the UK and across developing countries to work in partnership to address the negative psychological and economical impacts of COVID-19, as more than a third of university students were likely to suffer from depression, with females being the most affected. Professor Menon says the funding was made available by UK Research and Innovation, Global Challenges Research Fund and the Newton Fund.
Has some psychological consequences, like people become anxious because they have to adjust to the situation. And in the university students, even normally, there's a lot of depression and anxiety that they experience. And together with COVID-19, we assume that it will be more. And when students in the university are experiencing depression, what happens is that normally their academic performance is affected. So they are not able to do as well in their studies like they normally would. And therefore, what we are doing is we are using an online program. It's called Mood Gym. And this mood gym is to improve their mood or to try to help them, to give them skills to deal with the depression, to cope with it better. And therefore, we hope that when they are able to deal with their psychological condition, their academic performance will improve.
We do take a last set of our commercials and return with our international and sports news. To stay with us.
Stay home, stay safe. Times have changed. With the advent of the coronavirus, Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company would like to advise its esteemed customers to avoid visiting crowded places. You don't have to move to pay your water bill. You can do it in the convenience of your home. You can pay your water bills through Zanaco Zapit, Stanbic Bank, Standard Chartered Bank, and FNB. You can also use Airtel, MTN, and Zamtel Kwacha mobile money transfer services. For any inquiries to report a fault, please contact our customer service on +260 211 251 571, +260 975 618 618, and toll-free line 5957, Zamtel only. You can also simply email customerservice@lwsc.com. This public announcement is brought to you by the Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company. Water is life. Sanitation is health.
Hello, Camnet TV viewers, wherever you are watching us from. Allow me to invite you to this Sunday service, the 20th of December, 2020. Dr. Francis Mouse from the USA with his wife Camilla will be taking their last Sunday service at the Healing Word Ministries International. You don't want to miss this service. where he will be presenting us with the gospel facts how to win every case in the courts of heaven. On behalf of the Healing Word Ministries, the leadership of Camnet TV, and indeed on behalf of my wife, Pastor Victoria, allow me to invite every loving Zambian, every God-fearing Zambian, every one of you to this wonderful service. May the Lord bless this great nation of Zambia, and remember you were born for greatness. Shalom, shalom.
Hello, have you heard about Msika? Do you know that you can advertise for as low as 150 kwacha for 30 seconds? Well, Msika is here. Advertise on Msika between 17 hours and 18 hours. Just tell us about the services that you offer and we'll gladly put you on the market. For more details, you can contact
+260 953 995099 +260 962 444 726 or +260 971 177 467.
Msika, allowing your business to grow.
We now take a look at our international news. After a week-long ordeal, more than 300 students kidnapped from a school in northwest Nigeria are free and back in Katsina State. Details of their rescue are still not clear, including who was responsible and whether a ransom was paid. Some of the boys say they were beaten daily by their captors. They are now in the city of Katsina undergoing medical checkups before being reunited with their families. In another news item, UNESCO is warning a wildlife park in Senegal is in danger of losing its World Heritage status. Nicolo Kova National Park is home to many rare species of wildlife, but it has been under threat from poachers and illegal gold mining. Al Jazeera gives us a report.
The northern state of Katsina rejoiced as they saw their sons for the first time since they were taken. 344 boys were kidnapped from their school last Friday by armed men on motorbikes. Details of their rescue are still not clear, including who was responsible and whether a ransom was paid. Some of the boys say that they were beaten daily by their captors.
To be honest, there was no food or water for us, no shelter, no break. And the Friday we were taken, we spent 2 days without sleep. Our food was leaves, and after 2 days without food, we were given fresh potatoes and pieces of groundnut cake.
Frankly speaking, I feel like God has granted me paradise because I'm so happy. After spending 2 days without eating anything, my mother is more than 90 years old and I am her last born, and she too stopped eating and drinking. In addition, my 3 sisters were admitted to hospital.
More now from Al Jazeera's Ahmed Idris, who's in the city of Katsina.
Walking barefoot, some of them limping, the 344 schoolboys are led by Nigerian security forces to the safe environment of the governor's office in Katsina after nearly a week in captivity. Instead of joy, it's fear and exhaustion written on their young faces.
You suffered physically, mentally, psychologically, but let me assure you that we have suffered more. Your parents have suffered more.
The government says all the students abducted in an armed raid on a boarding school in the town of Kankara last week have now been freed, but it's yet to explain the circumstances leading to their release.
A quick intervention prevented Nigeria's largest mass abduction from turning into another Chibok disaster. In 2014, security experts say Nigeria's authorities failed to act quickly when Boko Haram took more than 270 students from a girls' secondary school in Chibok. More than 100 of them are still unaccounted for.
For 6 days, the students were forced to trek and hike until Nigerian security forces pinned down their abductors in a forest in nearby Zamfara state. Earlier, hundreds more students either escaped on their own or were held by the military, and many in a poor state of health. 14-year-old Osama Aminu managed to make his own way to freedom, but the punishing trek across forests and rocky hills has left him now fighting for his life. He is bedridden because of sickle cell anemia, made worse by this experience. His father is desperately worried about his health.
He said he was propped up and helped along by fellow students as they marched through a thick forest. When their group was rested for a few minutes, he saw a chance to escape. He crawled away and hid behind a tree. Later, he dragged himself to a village where he was brought home on a motorcycle.
Kankara Secondary School, from where the boys were taken, is now shut, just like schools in 3 other states in Nigeria's northwest. The authorities are taking no chances there could be further such raids. Nigeria's security forces are overstretched. They are fighting many battles, including against the armed group Boko Haram, who are against Western-style education. But eventually, the government will want the schools to reopen.
It starts with a call. Deep inside Senegal's Nyokolokoba Park, a poacher has been spotted. On board is the Panther Brigade, deployed to protect what the UN describes as a World Heritage Site in danger. 8 anti-poaching rangers for a park as big as the island of Jamaica. The mission appears impossible. The jungle is dense, disorienting, and dangerous. The rangers fear both the armed poachers and the attacks from the wildcats they are meant to protect. Mimicking the animal, they move swiftly and quietly towards a fire they can smell burning by a water spot. Sergeant Juve points to what is left of a camp. They arrive too late. Yet again, they are one step behind.
It's hard to catch them. Finding poachers involves walking kilometers after kilometers in silence to try to catch them by surprise before they can escape.
What the men cannot do, Lieutenant Jello hopes a drone can. From the air, he may get a better view of where the poachers are, but the immensity of the task these rangers are faced with is huge. Preserving 450 species of animals and 16,000 types of plants and precious trees. The threat is not just poaching, but industry, human encroachment. Inside the park are small-scale gold mining ventures destroying the animals' habitat. On the outskirts, the gold mining is of industrial scale. And upstream, international donors are funding the construction of several hydroelectric dams. While this will bring power to millions, it will alter the park's ecosystem, putting more animals in danger. Lieutenant Jallo attaches a camera to a tree to get a picture of what is at stake here.
Not only does this give us an idea of what species there are in the park, but also their movement, so that we are better equipped to protect them.
They come out at night, leopards, chimps, hyenas, and the park's king, the lion. Animals on the move in search of a safe place to live. On this pathway, a lion was spotted, and when it roared, this part of the forest and all the animals fell silent. It left these droppings. Now, rarely do we have any sighting of this animal that wants to make its presence known. Because whilst it is the national symbol of Senegal, the lion of Senegal is on the verge of extinction. A lion's skin sells for anything from $9,000 to $35,000 on the black market, which is why the park attracts poachers from around the world. The human exploitation of the park's precious natural resources, the animals, plants, and trees, is slowly decimating a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And there are only a few people employed trying to protect it.
We'll now take a look at what we have in our sports news. And in our sports news story, Liverpool hit 7-0 against Crystal Palace to the top flight game for the first time since March 1991. Roberto Firmino and Mohamed Salah both scored twice as Liverpool steamrolled Crystal Palace with 7-0 victory at Selhurst Park to go 6 points clear at the top of the Premier League. The tone was set inside 3 minutes when Takumi Minamino scored first Premier League goal, slaughtering home after some good work from Sadio Mane. The Senegal international 25 then doubled Liverpool's lead later in the half after Palace's best spell of the match netting with a crisp finish. Firmino, 44, added a third just before halftime after a lightning counter-attack, while Liverpool captain Jordan curled a wonderful effort home 7 minutes after the break. Firmino, 68, then chipped home over Vicente Guaita for his second of the afternoon. But at this point, Liverpool were 5-0 ahead, but never want to miss out on a scoring party. Salah added his own double late to seal an emphatic win for the visitors. He nodded home his first in the 81st minute before sending a stunning effort home 3 minutes later. It is first time Liverpool that has scored 7 goals in an away top-flight match since March 1991 against Derby County 7-1, and have led at the top at the Premier League heading into Christmas. For Palace, their 3-game unbeaten run is brought to an abrupt halt, remaining in the 12th. That sports news item brings us to the end of the news, but before we go, let's take a look at the headlines. Princess KASUNE calls for an end to HIV/AIDS discrimination. Fire all civil servants linked to 3,000 bags of missing fertilizer-PAC. Women aspiring for political positions should be equal to the task charges. Gender Minister. And in our international news, freed schoolboys arrive in Nigeria's Katsina a week after abduction. And in our sports news, Liverpool dismantled Crystal Palace by 7-0. Our Camnet verse of the day is coming from the book of Psalms 119, verse 101 to 102, and it reads, I have kept my feet from every evil path to follow your word. I have not turned from your judgment, for you yourself have instructed me. Thank you so much for joining me on Camnet TV, not just another channel. My name is Banda Tandiwe. Pleasant viewing.